Good afternoon to everybody. Nice to see this wonderful crowd here. And folks, we got some work to do, I think. I'm here to introduce a person that I know very well, my father, Vince Gray. And I want to begin by asking you all a question. It's an important question. Aren't we all glad he finally made a decision? Now, more important question. Aren't we glad it's the right decision? Okay, well, I'm going to take that as you all agreeing with me that he made the right decision for the citizens of D.C. Almost 6 years ago today, I stood in a crowded room at Marshall Heights Community Center, and I was tasked with the same mission that I've got here today, which is to introduce my dad. And that day, on May 15th, 2004, he kicked off his campaign for the Ward 7 seat on the D.C. City Council. On that day, I told those who were gathered there about exactly who my father is and what he stands for. 2 years later, in the spring of 2006, I did the same thing at New Macedonia Baptist Church when my dad kicked off his successful campaign for chairman of the D.C. City Council. As I look around the room today, I see a lot of you who were there with us at Marshall Heights and then later at New Macedonia. And some of you may remember what I said about my dad back then. Extraordinary ability, conviction, a catalyst for change, unbelievable stamina, and above all, a consensus builder. These are the core characteristics that define him professionally and also personally. Extraordinary ability. My father grew up in a low-income neighborhood right here in Northeast Washington, D.C. He overcame tremendous obstacles related to poverty to graduate at 15 years old with honors from Dunbar Senior High School. Conviction. Vince Gray is a person who does the right thing, even if the right thing is not the easiest thing to do. As early as being a teenager at George Washington University, he integrated the fraternal system, becoming one of the first African-American student to be a member of that fraternal system at GW. Cheers from his fraternity brother, Bruce Bariano. A catalyst for change. Throughout his career, my father has been a champion for the rights of those who are the most downtrodden in our society. He, for 16 years, served as the executive director of the ARC, where he fought for the rights of the mentally retarded, and later on in his career, he served as the founding executive director for Covenant House, Washington, which championed the rights of forgotten children in our city. Stamina. He has a lot of it. Fortitude, endurance, the will to make a difference. This is a man who, for 4 years as the director of the D.C. Department of Human Services, worked 17 hours a day to brighten the futures of folks in this city. Since being elected to the City Council, he has worked around the clock tirelessly to make sure legislation has been passed to stabilize this city and to improve our citizens' lives. You can often find him at the Wilson Building at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, working steadfastly on issues that are critical for resolution immediately. And finally, the thing that I think is most significant is that Vince Gray is a consensus builder. I know that many of you will agree with me in the fact that this is a very, very important trait for our elected leaders. Now, I told you earlier that my dad is a catalyst for change, but he is about effecting change the right way, and that means by building a consensus, valuing the opinions of the citizens of our city, listening carefully to the remarks of those around him, even if at first they may seem divergent, and ultimately working hard to build a consensus around a decision that will best serve the needs of all. My dad has shown that he is able to do this as an elected official in his former capacity as a Ward 7 councilperson, in his current capacity as the chairman of the DC City Council, and now I'm going to turn this mic over to him so he can tell you how he's going to do it when you elect him as our next mayor. So with that, here you have him, Vince Gray.